Welcome to Mobile Agent TV. I am Michael Thorne of Remax Little Oak in Langley, BC, and my co-host, as always, is Dave Falkware from Bridgewater, New Jersey's Remax Preferred Professionals in the Enviro Realty team. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Busy week in real estate here. Really busy.
Yeah.
Good thing.
There, the weather comes out. Has the weather gotten better? Obviously for you guys now. It's springtime.
Weather's slowly getting better, and that's changed because we had the worst winter of all time here. And you know, it's just been great. We're just so busy. I can't do anything except write contracts. Isn't that a shame?
That's just
a good problem to have.
My heart, Dave. You're breaking my heart. During the broadcast, you can interact with us live on Twitter using the hashtag MATVLive, as well as you can get us on Twitter at Mobile Agent TV, and I will keep an eye on that as we go throughout the show. Another thing I want to mention, I just want to say the words Raj Kazar and Bomb Bomb because I mention them every episode anyway. Might as well get that out of the way. I want to wish a very, very happy birthday to a very dear friend of the show, Terry Conrad. It's her birthday today.
Oh, Terry's birthday.
You know, like this is totally unprompted, but I thought we'd just like the little quartet here, little barbershop style.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Heck yes.
Lead us.
Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terry Conrad. You're the best, most awesome person in the world. Happy birthday to you.
That was a struggle.
Really? I thought it went quite well, Colin.
I'm gonna blame it on the latency of internet. That's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wonder how that's all going to. Anyway, happy birthday, Terry. Very first guest of Mobile Agent TV. A great friend, personally and professionally. Happy birthday to you, Terry. Roy Rissanen of Remax in Halifax has created a really great Google Plus community, and it's called Creative Remax Video Challenge. And so every month he's issuing a challenge to Remax agents across North America just to create a simple video about whatever theme he puts out. So this month the theme that he's put out is I Am Remax. And so I think it's a great opportunity. One of the things that Chase said on our previous show, Video 2.0, was that just post your video. So on Google Plus, you can go and post the video, and only the people inside that group will be able to see it and critique it, make comments on it, without it really going public. But Roy's a really creative guy when it comes to video, and it's kind of a neat group, so he'll just put out these challenges for you to create real simple video that might not be about listings or about contracts or informing the neighborhood, but I think it's a really neat idea. So that's called the Creative Remax Video Challenge on Google+. Also, Tom Maynor, who's at Remax LLC, posted on Facebook the other day, 2 days ago, that Filmic Pro is currently free in the App Store. Now, it's only $4.99 anyway, but I know our viewers are sticklers sometimes for paying $4.99 for an app. But it's currently free, or it was free 2 days ago. It might still be that. That's the app that I used on my iPhone and iPad during the time that I used my iPhone and iPad to film. I know it's what Melanie uses and a lot of agents use on their iOS devices. If you are joining us for the first time and you want to, Terry Conrad just posted, thanks. You're welcome, Terry. If you want to go back and see some videos that are some episodes of Mobile Agent TV that we've done on video, Episode 3 with Bob Sokoler is a show you can watch. Episode 4 with Michael Carissa will show you how to use your iPad to create and edit videos. Episode 17 with Mark Passerby talks all about HD hat and actually filming techniques and some of the equipment you can use. Episode 24 with Tim Schmoyer of Video Creators TV on YouTube. He's a video YouTube expert. He talked about maximizing and optimizing your YouTube channel to increase your views. Episode 27, Raj Kazar, talking about high-end video. Episode 29, one of my favorites, Bomb Bomb was on the show. You can definitely watch that one. And episode 47, with our two guests today, Real Estate Video 2.0, which is our third highest watched episode ever, behind our live one at R4 and Lee Brown, which will make Lee Brown happy because she definitely thought Chase Chapter number. So maybe this will be the one that blows out and goes to number 2.
We're never going to be here.
I'd like to introduce our returning guests. Colin Krieg, you can get him on Twitter at Colin Krieg, ColinKrieg, and his 160 Twitter bio reads passion, photo/video, marketing, technology, cars, work, realtor at Remax Kelowna, history, web design company for 9 years, biz school, and real estate. Welcome back to the show, Colin.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
And also, Chase Thompson, you can get him on on Twitter at ChaseTH. You can also get him at The Ticker Show. The Ticker or at The Ticker Show?
I believe it's at The Ticker Show.
At The Ticker Show. He believes. And his 160 Twitter bio reads, family first, after that, gluten-free paleo. I got it wrong last time. Might as well get it wrong this time. Enthusiast, baseball fan, wine lover, and still a new dad.
Well, that's news in and of itself, I guess. So we're like going for round twosies. So hopefully, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Future new dad again.
Right. Exactly.
Excellent. So you know what? Our last episode with you guys, episode 47, we wanted to talk about ways that agents can start taking their their video to the next level, and it was clear halfway through or near the end of that conversation that we weren't going to get through it all. And in fact, I sent an email off to Colin this morning and sort of gave him the show notes, and he goes, "That's enough. We won't get through all of that this show." So I think there'll be a 2.2 eventually. But we did want to start talking about some of the things that we really didn't get a chance to talk about. But at the top of the show, I want to talk about a video that Chase put out probably a couple weeks right now, and you can see it at thetickershow.com and subscribe to him on the Ticker on YouTube. But it was a complete departure of any other video I've ever seen Chase put out, and it was a very raw, sincere, authentic video, and actually that was the theme of the video, and it was I think it was titled Secret Sauce. So Chase, that really hit home for me, that video. Why don't you share with the audience, for people that may not have got a chance to see it, and for those that saw it, sort of maybe explain your position in sort of a conversation way.
Right. So the thing that prompted that video was going to a webinar that was put on by a company that had a product to sell involving video. So about the first, whatever it was, 20, 25 minutes of that webinar was all the great things that video is and does for the industry. But I mean, really, you could have plugged in any industry, right? Like insurance or whatever, like everybody does and could use video better from like a local small business standpoint, right? And then they move into the sell, which was the product that they had to sell, which was kind of this pre-made video thing. Except that's great. The product looks serviceable, everything's great about that, but the problem that I had with it is that everything that led up to that was this idea of being and creating this authentic voice and how great you on video are in your business. And then we have this product for you that is stock video footage, basically, for lack of a better word. And so that just didn't make any sense, right? Like, it was very much like watching people talk about the NFL draft that's coming up. I know this won't relate to everybody, but the concept works. And they don't want to pick a side. They're like, oh, this new quarterback coming out, he's got some problems and his footwork's an issue, but look at his arm, he's great. Like, they don't want to hold a position on a guy because they think he could go far or he could be trash. So I don't want to put my name on it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what that's what that webinar was. It was just a big thing of basically not putting your name on it. And so I get it, and I even mentioned this in the video. And the video is called You Are the Secret Sauce, and it basically was just this idea that, like, look, get this product if you need it, or if you're so outrageously great in business right now that you just flat out do not have the time. And that's cool. Outsourcing is great. It does a lot of great things for you and your business, and that's fine. But just not, forgetting that thing that you are the secret sauce. You're the one that knows your community. You are you. If I'm a client, it's not necessarily some HGTV-esque video that's going to get me to, use you. It's you on video talking about what you know and why I should use you, or whatever the case is, right? Know, like, and trust, right? Well, I don't know you if I don't see you. It's hard for me to like you if I have no idea what your jive is. And then the trust is, I'm trusting all these other actors that are doing what you should be doing. And so it was just really weird. It was really kind of a weird moment for me in that space to be viewing this thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is so awesome! This is so great!" And then like, weren't you listening to the first 25 minutes? So anyway, that was the bid. It was just this idea that video gives you a really great opportunity to be you, and then everyone just tuned out to that. And was like, oh, this is great, a thing that now I don't have to work for. I can just give you $100.
Yeah, I think if people are looking for the easy way out when it comes to video, I definitely believe that. And I think in social in that time, and one of the things is we had Social Me on the show, who will help you sort of create content on your Twitter and on your Facebook feed. And one of the things that they were really great about trying to express was this is a way to augment your content. Sure. To sort of supplement your content, but you still have to be there providing the hyper-local information, and perhaps this is maybe some way to do from them, but I definitely agree that if they're not getting to know you, then they don't get to know you when you come in and list their home. So on that note, on what Chase just said, Dave, any initial shots on the top of the show, thoughts about the top of the show just about that particular topic?
I think I was on that same webinar. I think I know exactly what he's talking about, and you know, that was sort of my impression coming away from it. Also, I looked at that thing pretty hard, and then I went like, you know what, something's missing here, and it came exactly what he said. You know, you're not being personal about it, because I know that that's a struggle. That's got to be a struggle for a lot of real estate agents to figure out where am I going to get the time to do all of this stuff, you know, and add it to what we do every day. I mean, that's a struggle that I'm having, but you know. I just use BombBomb, and it's kind of work. I'm getting to know, like, they know, like, and trust me from BombBomb. It's really easy to do. So, yeah. But anyway, I was on that same one,
and on that note, though, I mean, it's very, very much what Colin and Wolf do in their monthly updates. I mean, they talk about the stat. I mean, that the exact same product they're promoting is what Colin has gone out of his way and has improved his business, because I know Wolf and I know Colin, so I think that it's exactly what you guys try to do every month is that sort of stat update along with all of these video tours and whatnot too as well, Colin.
Well, and that's just right. It's just about people being able to see you and say, hey, you know, I feel like I know them. You know, you see people acting on a TV show and you feel like you know their personality. Whether that's TV, maybe not a very good example, but it's an insight into their life, kind of, and a little bit about them. And if you don't have that, and that's what you want to do, there's not really any other way to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's dive right in on that. Let's talk. Let's start off. And one of the topics we didn't cover, which is a huge thing when it comes to video, is audio. We didn't really talk about audio that much. It is one of those ones that the picture can be crystal clear and the cinematography can be crystal clear. And if the audio is horrible, I'm out. In fact, I would rather watch good audio, bad video. Audio is highly overlooked, and sometimes it's a progression. Colin said last show I started off using the internal mic and I moved from there. Chase, you started off using the Handycam and probably internal mic on the Handycam and moved from there. But what are some of the options for people creating video out there, depending on the application, that will help them improve the audio? Chase, what do you guys use on the ticker?
We use a Shure, S-H-U-R-E, I believe is how you say it, is Shure. We use Shure audio products, whether it's, we also use Rode mics, which is kind of like what Colin has right in front of his mouthpiece. And so we use we use some Shure wireless lav mics, which are the ones that you can kind of pin onto yourself. For my like podcasty or voiceover type stuff, I use my Blue audio. It's kind of like the Blue that you have in front of you, Mike. And so everything that we use is very specific for the task. We did start with it's kind of a subpar lav type wireless system that was like $100, that just kind of plugged right into the camera. And that's where we started. I mean, and that's what we use today.
Now are you doing that?
No.
Are you syncing?
Oh, am I syncing? I've had to do that before. Whenever just to make sure. I don't always. Normally, what I do is I do some sort of noise or whatever, or some sort of laugh, whatever the case is.
But you're recording your video and your audio separately, right?
I have. It depends on the application. If I'm out, if I was, let's say, because I help agents do things like home tours, like y'all were talking about that really cool, awesome device y'all have, and things like that. And for that, I use an H1 Zoom, or H1 Zoom, I believe is what it's called. And yeah, you have to sync it up with a clap or something like that. But I mean, when you get to that level, you kind of already kind of know what you're doing, or you screwed up so bad that you're like, snap! I need to, sync up next time.
Hey, Michael, in 30 seconds, explain syncing. I understand it. I know exactly what he's talking about. So people that don't understand what you're talking about.
When I record my audio straight into my DSLR, and the audio and the video are embedded in the same file. When you see the movie guys with the big clapper, the reason why that clapper is happening is because the audio and the video are separate. So what a lot of people do at this level is they'll clap their hands so that the audio will have a spike level in it, and so they'll put that spike where the two hands meet, so then the voice is synced afterwards. And that's a higher level thing, especially if the camera's further away. I've gone with a wireless lav that has a really long range. So I don't have to do that, but I started out with a $30 lav mic, an ATR 3350. That was great, and it hooked straight into the camera. That's where I started, but right now I'm using the Blue Snowball, which is like $50, $60. The nice thing about the Snowball for everyone using their iPad is it doesn't need external power. It can run off the power of your iPad. So if you're doing voiceover or doing voices for your tours on iMovie on your iPad, the Blue Snowball mic is an option for you. Once you upgrade to the Yeti, which is what Chase has, I think that's the Yeti, it needs external power, and only a computer has that ability to give them that power. If not, you have to have a booster, so it's not good enough for your iPad. When we have more than one person on screen, we're using a Rode Video Mic Pro, kind of like the one that Colin's using right now that sits on top of the camera, but I don't sync any of our audio afterwards. But you can start real simply. Now, Dave, you've got a microphone, right, that does great audio from HD Hat, and that goes straight into the iPad, right?
Yes, but I went and, if you see the one that Ethan uses when he does his video, it's got a cap, it's a little Sony thing. I talked to him at R4, and I bought one of those, and I'm trying to, I like using that little mic with the little thing on it. I mean, I like that. I like that kind of concept. So I sort of right now I tape the little thing to the bottom, and I'm pretending like I'm using the mic because it's all wireless. But I know that I can buy a wireless mic like that. But in the interim, I'm using the little Sony thing, and I've got it hooked up to the camera. But it works. It works.
He's using props in his videos. I like it. Now, Colin, when you guys are recording your video tours with yourself and Wolf, I don't see lavs on you. You're using the same microphone. Are you syncing up afterwards? What's your audio like?
Yeah, well, basically, there's a couple different options. Like you mentioned, you have lav or you have shotgun microphones, which is actually this guy right here. That's what I record on. So I have this a little bit further away from us. Oh, sorry, I'm falling apart here. So pros and cons. I like that with the shotgun mic, I only need one microphone for the both of us, which is nice. Keeps the cost down. I like to do that. Wireless lav mics can be extremely expensive. Like I think the Shure setup that Chase is using is like $1,000. Or
we got it on sale at B&H when it came on sale for I believe for like $550 or something like that. But you're right, no question. We just went all I say we went all in because Michael likes to say we go all in, but like we just happened to we planned on doing a ton of episodes and a ton of shows, so it made sense. Yeah.
Sure. Pros and cons. I mean, the lav mic's nice because you can turn. Like right now, if I turn, you probably can't hear me very well right now. Where a lav mic would stay with me. But of course, if you're moving around, it can rustle and make noise and be very distracting.
Yeah, I forgot to mention for everyone watching right now at the blog or on Google+, you can just click the Q&A. If you've got questions for us, they'll pop up, as well as you can send us your questions on Twitter. I know we had some pre-questions. So that sort of covers any other questions, Dave, about audio. I think that covers it pretty much. It's a graduation process. I've gone from $9 to $30 to $200 to $600 as far as mics go, and it's a graduating process.
I think it's like coaching.
What's that?
I think it's like coaching in your business. Now, you start with none, right, which is the in camera. Then you like do some in-house stuff that might be like $100 to go to, and then you get, the Tom Ferries or whatever, right? And then it's $1,000 a month or whatever the case is. It's a lot like that. You just start somewhere, and then
like anything else, even bicycles. You're not going to go out and spend $10,000 on a bike.
I wish. Damn.
What kind of bike do you have? You're talking about a pedal bike or like
a pedal bike? Yeah, pedal bike.
Pick it up with his fingers, so light.
one of the number one questions we had afterwards, and it's a really good one. It's the reason why Dave is where he is in the living room. It's the reason why I turn around the lights on our ceiling before the show starts. It's one that puzzles people quite a bit. Lighting is an issue we didn't get to, and the nice thing about the people that we have on the show, we have Colin, who I've never seen in a permanent location on video ever. He's always out on location. And Chase, to whom I've only ever seen on location. So we have two very different types of lighting styles. And in fact, some of the lighting rigs that Colin mentioned during his Canadian Remax conference blew my mind. But Colin, give people some tips about lighting on location, perhaps without huge budgets, but just some of the things people need to be aware of when it comes to lighting, not only for you, but maybe set up in your camera, talking about maybe automatic ISO or something like that, if that's not too geeky. And Dave will put up his finger for all the viewers when we start getting too geeky. Dave's going to stop us all.
All right. So the first question is, obviously, working with the natural light. If you're shooting inside or outside is a big question. If you're shooting outside, you're typically working with the sun, and to have lights to overpower the sun or compensate that, because if the sun's coming from here, then this side of my face is going to be super dark, and this side's going to be super bright, and I can't see both at the same time. Our cameras just aren't good enough for that. So to have a light to overpower the sun and counteract it is way out of budget. So you have a couple of options. One, you can put something between you and the sun, meaning shade. So stand in the shade. That would even the light and make everything really easy for you. Or you can buy a scrim. So basically it's like a, think of wax paper almost. So it's somewhat translucent. It lets some light in, but it really diffuses it. It makes it really nice and soft.
Like a cloudy day.
Yeah, kind of like a cloudy day. But everything else around you is still bright and beautiful, and you still have the blue sky. So when it's sunny, we do that a lot, just because it softens everything, makes it look beautiful, takes out the harsh shadows. I think I paid $150 or maybe $200 for it. It's a great big, like 7 foot by 7 foot thing. It's awesome. You can also get the other option is to bounce it back in, and so instead of putting it between you and the sun, you put it on the other side and let the light bounce back into your face, and that's called a fill.
Mm-hmm. Is it not preferred to do it on a cloudy day?
It is, but it's
Kelowna.
Pretty. And in Kelowna, where I am, today it's 28 degrees and sunny. So, like, work with what you got.
20, but no.
Oh, the Celsius. This is Celsius. Sorry.
That's like 90. That's like 90.
Oh man, I'm from Texas, bro.
That's nothing. All right.
You got to throw down some Fahrenheit on me. I'm like 28 degrees. Holy.
Now, one of the things too, Colin, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but talking about stabilization. But one of the issues really is when you're filming home tours, when you're doing the tour and you want the kitchen cabinets to be the right exposure, you want the kitchen cabinets to be bright, but because you can't compete with the sun, your little light bulbs inside the kitchen can't compete with the sun, the windows blow things out, so if you want to be able to see the backyard, you're not going to see inside the house at all. How do you go about, when you're doing your home tours, making an attempt, because it's never going to be perfect, it's never going to, like, they film a lot of movies here in my hometown here, and during the day, the windows will be boarded up with these big, huge blankets of fake backdrops because they can't have the actual light come in because it will just drown everything out. So how do you go about best compensating that to have a really good-looking video tour?
Great question.
Thank you, Colin.
Couple options. One is if you're filming a video walkthrough consistently through the entire house, you'll have to make adjustments. And you won't be able to have the time to make those adjustments in camera because every room is going to have a different light. You go to the basement, a room with no windows, that's going to be super dark compared to the living room with a wall of windows. So if you're shooting room by room, then you can dial that in whatever you like. But if you're shooting a walkthrough like we do, and like Michael does, the way we do it, and you mentioned it earlier, is by using auto ISO. So I set my shutter speed and I set my aperture, and then I let the aperture. Okay, I'll get back to that. And then I let the ISO kind of pick whatever it feels is necessary to compensate for that to get enough light in. So should I back up here about shutter speed and ISO?
Well, I mean, those are on higher-end cameras, and I think if you go out, and one mistake we made last episode is if you go out and spend $700 on a Canon, you're going to know those issues, so maybe we're not talking, maybe we don't have to get into the details of it. If you're using your iPhone or your iPad or a simple, exposure is probably the overall combination of shutter speed and all that sort of stuff, but I would way rather the windows being blown out white and see the actual home or the person if you are on camera. And one of the people I want to talk about, hopefully she's watching, she sent out a couple tweets and Chase and I responded to as well, is Sue Benson, who's got an absolute unbelievable personality for video. And we're going to get talking to her about her specifically.
The other day.
Yeah.
No, I
mean, there was a video of her where she's standing there and she's like 20 feet back is a big bright window. That's just choosing the wrong place in the home to film that particular issue. I mean, light source has to be coming from in front, the dominant light source, opposed to behind, and that's probably, if there's one tip on lighting, it's make sure that that you're looking into the bright light, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to come back to that, if you're shooting with something that chooses everything automatically, like an iPhone or an iPad, even with my camera, if I point it at a window, it's going to try and expose out that window. So try and mitigate that time. So as you're walking through, spend more time pointing at the darker area, and it'll try to expose for that. If you sit there in front of a window, it's going to try and expose for out of the window.
I mean, for me, I go around. I close all the blinds. I mean, you're not going to see too much anyway on the outside. Close the blinds. I do your backyard shots afterwards. That's how I've gone about trying to compensate for it.
Sure.
Now, Chase, you're a very different setup because you're a lot like, I mean, I do things that Colin does, but I also do studio work for a lot of our videos. Talk about the lighting setup you have there, and I'm assuming you're using a 3-point of some kind, but talk about your lighting setup that you have for the ticker.
Yeah. So for all of our our white background stuff, we have I have a light panel that goes across the top, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's 6 lights that kind of go across a strip and are pointed in various directions. And then I've got 2 bigger LEDs, soft boxes, which are just again light panels that are about like a square that shoot the light out straight. And then I have kind of a diffusal in front of that, so it softens that light, so it doesn't create as many shadows. And then I have one off to the corner, which would be, like you said, kind of a 3-point situation. Whenever I'm doing the green screening, I have a very similar setup. I just turn off some of those lights, so that way it doesn't create any hot spots in the green screen. For I say a normal agent, for an extraordinary agent. Now, trying to do some more studio stuff, because like he's talking home tours or community filming for talking about specific areas. I mean, that's incredibly relatable to a regular agent, any agent, right? For any agent to do kind of more studio stuff that we do, or even you do a little bit of, like for your promos for this show and things like that, you really kind of just pick a spot, isolate it, white background or whatever you're going to be doing, and use those for your bomb emails, or use that for your, we do thank you videos straight back to clients, whatever that thing is, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy green screen or anything like that. I think a lot of people watch a movie or see some making of stuff and they're like, oh, I got to do that. Well, yes, give it a go, but don't get all discouraged. You know what I mean? Start kind of slow, like we've said with everything else. But my light setup is very, very basic. The LEDs are whatever, $200 each or whatever, and the diffusals kind of come with it. And the light panel I got from Home Depot, it's literally a panel of lighting that would go across one of those beautiful. It's like that strip lighting right behind you, Michael, actually. And then I have slightly better bulbs in it, obviously. All of the biggest lighting thing that you guys haven't touched base on just yet, but the biggest problem I see is uneven color temperature of the lights. So all of my lights are all the same color temperature. They're all a bright white at a certain looms, whatever you're able to snag them at. That's the only thing that's important. Unless you're filming in the daylight, which is even.
People watching are relatable. I guess the issue is you have those incandescent fluorescent light bulbs that are look like the old school warm yellow, and then you have now the bright white daylight bulbs. If you put those together, one side of your face is going to look white, the other side is going to look yellow. You've got to choose.
You're experiencing it right now. Yeah, so if you look at over your right hand, shoulder, your corner, one of those lights on the ceiling is, kind of got a yellow spray across the ceiling, and then that huge window that I'm assuming is right next to your face, it's got half your face is super white light. So it's literally, if someone's looking at your video right now, they can see, oh, yellow spray on the ceiling, you got the white spray on your face. That is obviously uneven lighting, and that's a problem. So we do what you just said when we're doing home tours. We basically shutter the windows as best we can. And then we do the views on the great houses with great views. We go out on a patio, or we set the camera up in front of the window and pan from basically window to window corner. You know what I mean? And have it set up to be exposed for just the window. And that's how we do it. And it looks fabulous.
Now, there's one other thing I'm just going to touch on real quick for anybody who knows about it or is at that level. Magic Lantern, we touched on it real quick. That's basically an add-on for your Canon camera. They have a thing that lets you do basically HDR video, so it'll alternate exposure. You have to move really slowly, but then you can film inside and outside, combine it afterwards, and you can see basically everything all at once. Not for the typical situation, very specific circumstances, but anybody who's up to that level and didn't know about it, now you know. Check it out.
Let me back up to the beginning level. So the tip would be, if you're going to start doing white screen and you need to do your lighting, is to go out and buy the exact same kind of lights, the same kind of just basic lights, put them around, keep the same bulbs in them, the same luminant, and then you should be able to get a nice even white screen. Good tip, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you could literally go to the store and get light stands that you would put into a bedroom or whatever, just the stick light stands. Take off the lamp shade, and just have the bulb. It gets very bright, but that's what it is. And literally, if you've got like 3 of those kind of in front of you, and it'll brighten up the whole freaking place, and everything's got an even spray of light. That is where we started, and it was like $40.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, when it comes to lighting, and I've contemplated taking this thing down many times. If you look at, we have a thing on our website. It's called Tips, and there's 30 Seconds with Dave, and it was the first one I did. So man, if you look at that thing, it's like the worst lighting. It looks like it's really evil. It's bad. It's the worst lighting thing I've ever seen. It's horrible. And I got to take that down. No, you know what? Let's leave it up there. That's where I started. That was the very first thing I did. And it's like embrace the suck. That's what we did, and what I did anyway. Maybe that's why I'm reluctant to do another one.
Well, Dave. Although I said, hey, why are you now doing mobile TV out here with the red background? And you simply said it was a lighting issue, and it is. You look way better now. I mean, it's a decision. Obviously, there's a window on the other side of the computer of you. I mean, it's pretty easy to see that, and that's where it is.
Mm-hmm. So that's perfect. Again, it's that thing. Start somewhere, wherever it is. Those of you listening, if you're not doing it yet and you want to start, just start somewhere. You'll get where Michael is and Colin is, and you'll get there. I'm not where these guys are, but I'm far away from where I was when I started. So
it's like weight loss. Everyone loves a great before and after photo. I mean, really, that's what motivates you and motivates your friend and motivates half the freaking internet is a before and after photo. So it's kind of like when. And people ask, because like you said, I eat paleo and I try to eat healthy, and they're like, oh, so how are things going? I'm like, well, I'm still working on my before body. But but that's it, right? Like, get your before, and then start working towards your after, whatever that after is for you. And people really embrace that idea that you went from here to here. I mean, heck, it even makes your business look like it's better because. Well, damn, if he's able to get better stuff now, you know what I mean? If he looks this much better, his business must be booming or whatever the case is. But before and after photos or any way you can implement that into your business, I think is extremely powerful.
Good.
Yeah, great advice. One of the things that confused me, just the terminology, when I first started out doing video, and I used the Filmic Pro app, and I didn't understand it, and it's a lot of the applications you have on your iPhone when you take photos. It's the WB, It's white balance. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't understand how to use it. I didn't understand the impact of it. But if you're using an application on your iPhone or in a photo and you have an option of white balance, what it wants to know is your camera wants to know what is white, so then it knows what all the other colors are supposed to look like. So one of the things you can do when you are going to film somewhere and you have Filmic Pro, for example, take a sheet of white paper in front of you, hold it in front of the camera, click white balance, and then take the piece of paper away, and then everything will look a lot more natural, a lot more real, a lot more accurate. Your what are really taupe walls that won't appear yellow anymore is because you set your white balance. So if you do have an option on whatever platform you're shooting on to set your white balance, whether it's indoors, outdoors, it's going to compensate for having different type of lighting. Colin, obviously, you know, that's set in for you. You can have Canon will let you say, are you outside? Is it cloudy? Is it indoors? Is it luminescent? Or you can add a custom white balance. But it makes a huge difference on the outcome on the way your film or your photography actually looks at the end.
Absolutely, and I mean, you can even just start and see what the camera comes up with and kind of leave it on auto, and if it's right, then leave it. If it's not right, then you can make your adjustments from there. The only kind of asterisk I would say with that is if you are cutting different scenes together, like last time we mentioned that Wolf and I will take multiple takes and then we'll cut them together, the best pieces from them. For something like that, you need to set your white balance, because if something changes and the camera thinks all of a sudden that it needs to be a little more yellow or a little more blue, and you're cutting back and forth, all of a sudden your cuts are going to be different colors, and
your T-shirt's going to change.
Yeah, exactly.
For you, Chase, when filming on green screen, I mean, white balance is an issue for you there?
We actually, we white balanced before every episode. So we were about 162 episodes in, so we white balanced before every episode for about 70 episodes, just to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do. Now it's, the lights don't change, nothing's really different, and so now it's just set. I know what that Kelvin setting is in there, and it's 4100 or whatever. But yeah, we did it every single day, and we were in the same space, no sun, exact same lights, all of that, just because we're wearing a different color shirt. Or, for Corey, who used to do the show, sometimes she'd have her hair back, sometimes she'd have it forward, and just those little tweaks it absorbs more light, or it bounces more light back, or whatever. She had a shinier necklace on, whatever. The camera isn't nearly as smart as you think it is sometimes, and so we would set it every time.
Dave, are you filming on Filmic Pro? Is that the application you're using on your iPad?
No.
No.
I'm still using iMovie. I'm still using iMovie.
I know, but to actually record the video though.
I'm using the camera that's okay. Right on the iPad that it came with. I've got a Camera Pro on there, which I've kind of played around with, but I like to keep things simple. I haven't gotten to that degree of changing that yet.
Okay. One more pre-production thing, and it's something that Chase brought up. Like I said, we had. I'll talk about it now. I got a tweet from Sue Pink Lady Benson yesterday asking, she's a Remax agent, I believe in Florida somewhere, and she said, here's one of my videos, can you go take a look at it? And I watched it, and obviously Chase picked up that tweet somehow, because I know that Chase made a comment on it. This lady needs to go all in video, because her personality is cut out to be on camera. I mean, she's larger than life. She's super relatable. She has no problem being on camera. And audio for her, I thought if she should improve her audio a little bit, that'd be great. And worry about lighting. And then Chase made a comment that something we've never really addressed on the show was, be mindful of the music that you have on your video. I've tried to upload a video to Facebook before, just between me and some friends. I think it was some video of my son playing hockey, and I put a well-known song in the background, and Facebook went, no, and I couldn't upload it. I've also uploaded video to YouTube and says there are copyright issues now, and we're not going to punish you, but we're going to run ads before your video in order to compensate for the fact that you're using copywritten stuff. So now people go to my home tours, and now they have to sit through a 15-second commercial, and it makes me look like a schmuck that I'm trying to monetize my property. So advice from anyone, Chase, about you have a background that's obviously, you know, the ticker background. You've gone and purchased that from somewhere. Music, intro. Some advice on where people can get some audio, some background images, some stock footage, that if you know any places like that.
Yeah, so finding stock audio is pretty easy. I mean, you can go to Pond5, I believe, is a really great site for that.
Yeah.
I think iStock Photo might even now have an audio section. I mean, you can find it a lot of different places. The actual audio that's the intro to the ticker was a local band that I met, and I was like, "Hey, can I sample the first 10 seconds of your song here for this bit?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's great." And I don't even know if they're together anymore, but the song works. I mean, so I think a lot of people get a little antsy about it, like, oh no, it's going to cost all kinds of money and all such stuff. I mean, you know, your son might know some kids who have a band you can throw something together with. But if you need something for your home tours, yeah, just get pay $30, $40 to avoid you. Like you said, bothering people with a 30-second. That's the worst of it, by the way, is a 30-second. Or not even the worst of it. That's the least of it. The worst of it is them just taking your content down, or just flat out, you know, suspending your account. Or I mean, all of these things happen. And so for someone like her who's really, you know, starting to elevate her game, that's the last thing she needs, right? Is like having her account suspended. So take that as seriously as we took 4 years ago when everyone was talking about don't steal photos, you know, for your blog, for your written blog. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Find royalty-free music. It's not expensive and it's not hard.
Yeah, pawn5.com is where I go. They've got tons of audio for like somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 to $40, depending on the track. It's yours for a lifetime. And so you get 2 or 3 really good tracks for your home tours, and you switch them up, and you're good to go. Now, Colin, I've never even noticed there must be music in your home tours. What have you done as far as getting some music for your videos?
Yeah, for sure, and I'm in the same boat. Again, royalty-free music is the way to go. Again, otherwise you get ads, or it's blocked in certain countries, neither of which you really want. Some free resources that I've used is freeplaymusic.com. That's worked really well. There is a lot. I mean, you can search the genre, the style, the mood that you want, but there's quite a bit to go through, so you've got to do some digging to get something decent. Freemusicarchive.org isn't bad, but from a paid resource standpoint, I really like Audio Jungle. It ranges from $8 to $15 or maybe $20. It's very reasonable. You can find loop songs or just standalone songs, and I've just kind of built myself an archive of music, and then I just kind of pick based on the style to kind of match that feel. You know, if it's more of a traditional, then maybe I'll use piano music. If it's a really funky condo, then I'll, you know, it's going to attract a younger person. I want to play some music that is to them. So kind of depending on the property, I've got a little, you know, library now on my computer, and I just pick based on that.
Yep.
On the topic of Audio Jungle, their whole suite of everything from Theme Forest, which is for themes for websites, for
WordPress
blogs and websites. Graphic River. .net is there for flyers and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to totally give this one away, even though whatever. I am like the local resource for really badass like flyers for like open houses and like you know, all this kind of stuff. I mean, other loan mortgage companies are like, bro, that is a kick-ass, you know, football barbecue flyer. Where'd you get that, dude? Graphic River for like $6. Pick up a couple of different home flyers, you know, for like different showings or whatever the case is, and you will have literally the best of all kinds of graphics for all kinds of flyers in your marketplace, period. And they're like $6. It's ridiculous. And a lot of them you can change different coloring. I mean, you can, you know, it's super, super cool. It's what we use, and they're awesome. So anyway.
Very cool.
Good advice. And what's the overall? And the nice thing about this, whether you're using high-end editing software or you're editing on your iPad, those audio tracks go on your iPad. You throw them into iMovie, and audio is important. So why does every tour we see, and some of the music's horrible and way too loud, but why is having a little bit of music in the background really change your ability to watch 3 minutes? I mean, is it that's just the way it is?
Just
Well, we could
emotion, I
sit
think.
here quietly for 3 minutes and see how long people watch if you want. I mean, but I mean, like that's the answer. I mean, right?
You
Like,
don't know how many people we lost when we sung "Happy Birthday" to Terry.
whoa, bro, my skills are legit. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that was on Colin.
I will fight you through Google Plus. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I mean, having something, emotion in the background is something you have to be aware of. It's
mood setting. It's watch movies or TV shows. I mean, when they're in the middle of acting on a stage, they're not. The music's obviously not playing in the middle, right? Like that's not happening. But go watch some behind-the-scenes stuff or whatever. If certain scenes like being pieced together with like all of their special effects or whatever. There's whole movie scenes. Like there was a really great one I saw. Captaining Commander or something. Anyway, it was like Russell Crowe. He was like on a
Master
boat.
and Commander.
Anyway, Master
Yeah.
and Commander.
Yeah.
And so like they had the bit where it was like the green screen, and he's like whoa, whatever, and there's like nothing going on, right? And he's just like acting, and then they like fix the background, and then they color correct, which we were talking about a second ago, and then they throw in these fake waves, and then they throw in the music, and you're like, it went from kind of lame to ridiculously epic, right? That's what that audio does. It just sets the mood. It doesn't. Without it, it's very awkward. Like you're expecting for it to start, and you're like, all right, so I'm watching this for like 15 seconds, and it's just weird now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just exit out of your video.
And Dave, all your videos that I've seen have, well, not all your videos, your 5 minutes with Dave, but your tour stuff has music in the background, and it comes up and it goes down when you speak, and that's all inside the iMovie software too as well.
That's inside iMovie, and you can pick a bunch of different things just like he said, and I just pick what's appropriate, and it works. It works.
Yep. Okay, so now we've talked about, over our last 2 episodes, why a video is important, how to film it, how to shoot it, lighting, audio. You've got this great video. You've produced the Ticker Show, and it's a great episode. The content's amazing, Chase. I love the Ticker. Now what? And that's the big question a lot of people have. In fact, I put out my new home tour out to a Remax group and said, what do you guys think about our new style of home tours? And Chris Spiker, who's a great friend of the show, he wrote back, now that you have this video, Michael, now what? And a couple of people said, yeah, now what? And it's a very, very good question. It's one thing to have the content, but now what? So Colin, now what?
Now what? Well, it kind of depends what you're doing. Again, if it's a market update or if it's a video walkthrough. If it's a video walkthrough, then the people that are only going to care about it are the ones that are interested in that house. So, advertising it on Facebook, you could do that, or posting it on social media. How many people are really going to care? A couple people might click on it. They might be just curious about what it is, but if you keep doing that, they're just going to start to get annoyed probably because they're not interested in that at that moment. So, of course, we post it on our website for that property. On the MLS, we have a link to any virtual tours or media about the property. That links that way. But if you're doing, say, market updates, or you're talking, or you're doing something about the community, that's totally different, and that's something you can push a little bit everywhere. Sorry, go ahead.
Just on that note, Colin, because I think there's a lot of viewers for sure in Eastern Canada, and I think perhaps for the States, that are going to be a little perturbed about what you just said, and because they got upset at me when Chris Spiker said, now what? And I said, I link it to my MLS listing. And a lot of agents were like, you're allowed to link your YouTube channel? Because apparently, back east for sure in Canada, it can't have any branding at all on it, and YouTube automatically has a branding on it. Your board and my board allows me to send you straight to YouTube to watch my video. Now, that's a no-brainer. You're on Realtor.ca or you're on Realtor.com or whatever it is in the States, and you can click through to multimedia and go straight to my YouTube video. Well, that's where my views come from. But for a lot of agents, what you just said, I think, isn't an option. Dave, is that an option in New Jersey?
No. You can put an unbranded tour up on the MLS, and we can put it on our own Remax websites.
Yeah.
It can be branded, but when it goes to the MLS, because they put it out to other places, it has to be unbranded. Because the IDX, I don't know if you guys have IDX, but
we have IDX.
IDX goes out to all the other brokers, and here it is on the Weichert website, and here's somebody clicks on it, and they click on the tour, and they're taking them to Remax, and they're not really fond of that. So there's rules against that.
Yeah, no, we're able to do that. So
Well,
we're probably fortunate.
somebody from the East Coast will come out there and straighten you out.
Go ahead, Colin. Continue on there.
Well, on that note, I don't know. I'd have to do some brainstorming and come up with something creative, I guess.
And that's one of the things too, as well. And it's different. I mean, I suppose your market updates a little bit different. That will probably go to your past clients. You're keeping them updated. You're informing them what's happening. There's some educational part. There's probably a lot more value in a monthly update for a Facebook ad because it has a much more broader audience opposed to the gorgeous two-story and basement home on the hillside overlooking the lake at $1 million. It only appeals to so many people. So that's obviously different.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Facebook ads have been tremendously useful, or they've been a great resource for us. For the little amount of money that it costs compared to a newspaper ad, you get a huge response. It's really been fantastic, and that'll push some of our views from 300 up to 1,000 views even sometimes. And then people share it. At Christmas time, we do a thing where we give away 6 bottles of wine. Where I live, it's beautiful. We have lots of delicious wine. Delicious? Tasty?
I think so.
Sure. Great wine. And so we say, if you share this video on social media, we'll put you in a draw for wine. And so we can kind of track that between Twitter and Facebook. And they start sharing it, and their friends share it, and all of these people see it, and it's worked really well.
Do any of you guys use, Colin, do you use QR codes to direct people to your video in some of your print?
Absolutely. In our listing brochure, so when they go to a property and they're looking at it, they pick up the brochure, there is a QR code on there. We also have QR codes on our for sale signs. Whether people are still scanning them or not, I think it's a great resource for sellers in our listing presentation to say, hey, if somebody knows what this is and they're interested, they can scan it and find out more information. If somebody doesn't know what it is, it just looks like a barcode.
Right. Well, more and more people do know what it is, but you're right.
Chase, because you don't have MLS, because you're sort of like, mobile agent TV in that matter, let's talk about how you expose the ticker, how you've grown, because you have a subscribership on YouTube that obviously you have earned and built over a long period of time, and when you upload that video, it goes out to your subscribers, and Mobile Agent TV subscribership grows every week, and everyone watching, go to Mobile Agent TV on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, and you'll get automatically our videos. Nice little plug there, Dave. Do you see how I did that? Chase, so for you, who doesn't have access to MLS, unlike Colin and myself for the videos, you finish your episode of the ticker. Now what?
First of all, great point bringing up distribution. Distribution is, in my opinion, sometimes more important than content. One of my favorite bloggers, Derek Halpern over at Social Triggers, he talks about how he spends 5 times more time based on how is he going to promote it than he does actually making the content. And he makes amazing content. So I don't even know how much time he spends thinking about distribution. But for me, the distribution was just jumping into Twitter and finding out, what realtors had certain questions, and then not pinging them back to go to my stuff. They're going to find it organically type thing. Putting in really great keywords, like iPad and real estate or whatever, and of course that's going to pop, and things like that. We're kind of we did it more of an SEO base, finding out what were the pain points for agents, and in this case, what pain points for homeowners, and then making those pieces of content for them specifically. And then when people search, video shows up like nothing else in terms of Google search. And so that's how we did it more than anything. I also I haven't seen anyone else do it, and there's probably another person that does it. I just haven't seen it. I absolutely love, and if you're not following them on Instagram, you really need to be the Corcoran Group out of New York. They do amazing home video or tour video on Instagram, and I think that is a fascinating play for your smaller teams, smaller brokers, whatever the case is. I think that is a fascinating way to do it. I personally love, as you've seen my baseball Instagram page, I love video on Instagram. Even Vine, I don't know, something quirky with 3-second or 6-second, tours on Vine. I think that's just doing it. I think that there's a lot of really great opportunity for distribution, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big tips for me, and on YouTube's the #2 search engine in the world. People need to understand that. It's usually occupies the 3rd and 4th spot videos on your Google search thing. So when you get onto YouTube, some advice that I put up there, Dave and I just changed our look of it. But embrace custom thumbnails on YouTube. It makes a huge difference in your views. A huge difference. So what I'm talking about is there's 2 ways. So when you upload a YouTube video, YouTube gives you 3 choices of what the cover image of that video is going to look like, and it's usually you making a silly face, the kitchen cabinets, and the bathroom toilet. That's just it really chooses the 3 worst things to look for. But if you, 1, verify your account on YouTube, or 2, allow for monetization, doesn't mean you have to monetize your videos, but enable monetization on your YouTube channel, you are then able to upload a custom thumbnail. And where the real advantage of custom thumbnails is after someone has watched a video on YouTube, it automatically says you will also like to watch these videos based on the keywords and whatnot. And if there's something over there that has, like the custom thumbnail that will go up after the show, it's already being built. It has Real Estate 2.1 with Colin Krieg and Chase Thompson with a little image of a film roll. That will go up there, and because there's writing on the thumbnail that will let you know what that episode's about. Because there's a thumbnail, it looks more polished, you're more likely to click through on that. And custom thumbnails have incredibly increased our click-through rates. If you go right now on YouTube and search Remax and say uploaded in the last 24 hours, you'll see home tour after home tour after home tour, and you will be hard to find a custom thumbnail. But if you had a really nice photo of the house with brought to you by the Enviro Realty team, and it says the name of the subdivision on the bottom of it, not necessarily address, but the subdivision on the bottom, a really great image, and upload that, I guarantee you will double, triple your views. I just think it's a huge play, and it's free, and people don't take advantage of. Colin, are you leveraging custom thumbnails?
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, we've seen a huge improvement. It's like anything else. It makes it look pretty, and people like pretty things. I don't know, in its most basic form, I guess. But it definitely does attract the attention, especially if you have a little bit of writing on there to tell them what it's about. I haven't been doing it for all of our video walkthroughs just because sometimes I'm lazy, I guess. But definitely the market updates, just a little quick thing about what it's about, and a good picture of the both Wolf and I just put that text over top, and whatever you want to use. I use Photoshop, but use whatever you like.
Valerie just tweeted, what is the ultimate optimum size? It's the 720 size, so it's 1280 by 720. Is that right, 1280?
Yes.
1280 by 720 is your optimum size for your YouTube thumbnail. You can create them in Keynote, in Pages, in any program. You can create a thumbnail template, make them all look the same. The other huge advantage is playlist. In fact, Tim Schmoyer of Video Creators TV, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. He just released the stats now that you can like playlists, that his viewership's gone up 3 times, because what happens if they like one of your videos, it automatically plays the next one. I know on the Ticker, they've got all their social media videos in one playlist. They've got all their technology videos in the playlist. So for us on Mobile Agent TV, we have our quick hits and our tips in one playlist. We have our recent episodes in a playlist. So you can create these playlists, and once the one video finishes, it automatically goes to the next video, and it will increase your video watch time dramatically, which is what YouTube decides on how much they're going to show your video is based on watch time. So that's playlists is another great play on YouTube too as well.
Michael, did you just put something up on the socialites about the thumbnails?
Yeah.
You did that, right? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
We've had one in the past. We've always had one in the past, but it didn't have the same amount of writing on it. And when I go look at the thumbnails that I'm really interested in, like anything, if we look at what attracts us, that's what's going to attract other people, and just be conscious of it. So I started looking at thumbnails going, I like that thumbnail. Why do I like that thumbnail? And so we've played with it a little bit, but since we've used thumbnails, dramatically increases our viewership, especially on analytics. You can see the people that have watched it because it was in the recommended video. So the analytics will definitely show you that. Any other points on that stuff, Chase, on YouTube, optimizing YouTube? Because that's really where, I mean, a piece of advice, and we're already at an hour, a piece of advice, and because this will be Video 2.2. Chase, a piece of advice on how you've gone and grown your subscribership, because your subscribership are people that will automatically get that video pushed to them when you upload. So anything other than putting out great consistent content, except for taking a year and a half off?
Right, yeah, taking a year and a half off was solidified. It's like the Great Reunion Tour, right? Great consistent content, and or like I said, solving whatever the problems are. I think that a lot of people don't put enough thought into it, and I've had this mistake before as well when I'm trying to do a new initiative. Like really thinking about stuff. Yes, embrace the suck. Love your hashtag. Yes, jump in and do things that need to get done or whatever. I love this. He's just gonna do business real quick. But really, think it through. Think about how you're going to distribute. Think about how you're going to get ideas for your content. We always talk about it like it's so freaking easy, but I think a lot of times people don't put enough thought into it. They just kind of shoot from the hip. And if you're solving client problems, well, is anyone emailing you asking for solutions for certain problems? Different things like that. I think that it's just really important to not just think about shooting a video, but understand, like you said, distribution matters, audio matters, video matters. And it sounds like we're bogging you down with things, but really it's just think about it. Think about it and produce things that you would care about and things you would want to watch and content I was about to curse. Give a crap about. Whatever that is. I love that video that your agent put out there the other day. Her energy is amazing. And she's doing so many great right things. That was just really encouraging, and she's really thinking it through, and you can tell she's really trying to embrace that. And that's just fabulous. That was so great.
Okay, I want to leave on one last thing, one question. Colin, can you identify one part of the thing that there's a lot of okay video out there? I think there's a lack of good video out there, and rarely do we see great video. I mean, the reason why I think Raj is amazing is because it's great and it's hard. Great video is hard. Good video, I don't think is. What is the one piece of the secret sauce that makes there you go, Chase, makes video go from okay to good?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I don't think it's just a one thing. I think it's a combination of things. And we've kind of talked about it a little bit already. If you have poor lighting, if you're standing in front of a bright window and you're really dark and you can see the background, that's not going to work for you. If you have poor audio, that's really going to hurt the video. Tying all of these things in together, I think, is what's going to take it to the next level. But you can do one step at a time. It doesn't have to be all done at once. Don't feel overwhelmed and say, oh my God, I don't have any lighting equipment, or I don't have any microphones. That's fine. Just shoot a little smartly. Have the light coming towards your face. Like right now, there's a window right in front of me right now. If I was facing the other way, you wouldn't be able to see me at all. So think about that when you film, and that in itself will help push your video to the next level.
Dave, what have you learned that makes video from okay to good?
Be yourself. I really like that. Just be yourself. Don't feel like you got to act. Just say what you got to say and be yourself, and let people see your personality. I think a lot of people have said that on the show already, and that's kind of my thing. The lighting and I've got some really good tips here on this show. But again, I just think be yourself is one of the real key components. I mean, you said it about Sue Benson.
Yeah.
We had I forget her name now. It was the lady from North Carolina a couple weeks ago. We had, my God, be yourself, man. She was like Lee Brown. Lee Brown. Be yourself, and that's she can do crappy video. That woman, crappy video. But if her personality is the thing that overrides the whole thing.
Yeah. Chase, okay to good.
Yeah, like everybody else said. Just number one, do it, watch it. See where you can make improvements and just go from there. I mean, there's really, I can't fix this, right? But like, I could buy some new lights, or I mean, I guess I could get like veneers or something, right? But like, I could buy new lights. I can always get a new camera or whatever. But just do it, watch it back, do it, watch it back, do it, watch it back. Have intent and purpose And it's like practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, right? So like have intent and purpose and focus and really understand that it can do amazing things for you. Just forget the business, right? Like I'm a better presenter because of video. I'm a better communicator because of video. I'm all of these other things. So if nothing else, it's a great sales tool for that.
And I wanted to use Sue Pink Lady Benson, which is her, I think, her Twitter handle or whatever. She's always wearing pink. That's why it is. As a bit of an example, because she's got the big hurdle jumped, which is I don't want to be on camera. Sue's got that down. Her personality is amazing on camera. So I want to not put a challenge out to her, but take a look at your lighting, take a look at your audio. Those are the big two things for her. Stand in 1/3, so like Colin, say something right now, Colin. Say something.
Hi. Yes. What's up?
See, Colin's on 1/3. He's not in the middle of the frame. And for Sue, it's someone else is holding the camera. Just throw up on a tripod. When you're going to be on camera, just have it still. Make it simple, unless you're walking through the house as Dave moves his camera around. But just put it on a tripod and be done, and and things will change dramatically. And she's already got it beat. Her personality is ridiculous. If I had any advice for someone like Sue, who's comfortable on camera, all in. Like she'll dominate her marketplace with video. She just got that personality. Wow, already another hour and 7 minutes. We can do another one of these. Thank you so much, guys. Amazing. Dave, we've already done takeaways, so we won't get into that too much. Our guest info is what's written on this. Colin, how do people get a hold of you, send referrals out up to Kelowna? How do people find the Wolf team there?
Absolutely. Wolfhomes.com is our website address. You can just search me, Colin Krieg, on Google. You'll find me everywhere. Facebook, our website, whatever you need. If you need something in Kelowna, let me know. I've got a great round of resources.
Fantastic. Chase and The Ticker, how do people hunt you down?
Yeah, just thetickershow.com. is the easiest way, thetickershow.com. You can get subscribed to the newsletter. You can find all our YouTube videos, and you can subscribe to us there as well over on YouTube at The Ticker Show. So. And
if you're super cool, go to badhot.com and buy a T-shirt or a hat.
Right, yeah. So, like, I also own a baseball company, so now I was trying to plug that. But, no, you can check us out. Really great marketing ideas. Honestly, we try to do some great, innovative things on Instagram with the Bad Hop. So it's BADHOP on Instagram. So.
Fantastic. Next week episode is going to be very, very interesting because of what happened in the last 7 days. We're going to be talking Google+. I'm a huge fan of Google+, but there was a lot of talk and rhetoric over the last 7 days about Google+'s future. So we're going to have Remax agent Brett Ellis on the show, who's a big Google+ user and has seen some benefits of it. He's going to come on, and we're going to talk sort of round table, Dave, myself, and Brett, about the future of Google+ and the opportunities that it holds for real estate agents, as well as on the topic of Google+. Really encourage everyone that thinking about doing video or is doing video to go to Google+ and join the Creative Remax Video Challenge group started by Roy. I think it will really encourage you to come out of your shell. Not only that, you'll get to know, like, and trust other agents throughout North America, and that can't help your referral network or hurt your referral network at all. So that's next episode, Friday, May 9th, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern at mobileagenttv.com. If you have any referrals heading out to the East Coast of the United States, get a hold of Dave. He'll get you in the hands of the right Remax agent. Any referrals coming out to the West Coast of Canada, get a hold of me, and I'll get you in the hands of the right Remax agent. And as Melanie Gallia of Remax Fort McMurray wants us to end every single show, please tell 5 other Remax agents about Mobile Agent TV. Our audience grows every week, which allows us to reach out to people like Colin and Chase and have them come back on the show for a second time. Thanks, Colin, so much. I appreciate it. I know our audiences are going to ask for another one. We'll give you guys a couple months off, and we'll come and do this again. Chase, thank you so much. Looking forward to what the ticker has in store. There's a little tease for everybody. And Dave, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Yep. We're all good?
We're all good. I'm good.
All good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you, everybody, next week.